A team that hasn't necessarily been trending in the right direction recently, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they lost a lot more than simply losing 9-0 to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday night. They lost a lot more than Tom Brady collecting a new record in his career, which was the first time he was shut out in an NFL game since 2006. They lost more than that. They have been dealt a spate of injuries, major injuries. Chris Godwin now done for the season with a tore ACL, wishing him nothing but the best. Mike Evans had to leave the game early on with a hamstring injury. Leonard Fournette is done throughout the rest of the regular season because of a hamstring injury. So they had to sign Le'Veon Bell to be the backup. When did you think Le'Veon Bell would all of a sudden be the coveted running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Because even Giovanni Bernard is on the IR. So you've got Le'Veon Bell now backing up Ronald Jones. And Le'Veon Bell's just been making his way through all the best teams in football. He's with the Chiefs last year. Now he's with the Rams this year. Not with the Rams, pardon, the Bucs this year. So they've been dealt a brutal blow right now. Not to mention Levante David has a sprained foot. Antoine Winfield Jr., he'll be back, but he missed the last couple games. So from a health perspective, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been ravaged by injuries. And I think this is the aspect of sports that when you're on the winning side, we don't take this away from you. But when you're the team that's afflicted by all these injuries, then it becomes a lot more of a salient issue. And that is that when you win, in order to win in any sports, you need a bit of good fortune. You need fortuitous calls. You need good luck. You need to avoid the health bug. Because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, last year, they were the fortunate team. They were the team that avoided major injuries. Now, unbeknownst to us, Tom Brady ended up playing through like a sprained MCL the entire season, but no one knew about that. But against Drew Brees in the playoffs, they were facing the New Orleans Saints, where Drew Brees was coming off a punctured lung and multiple rib fractures. They faced the Kansas City Chiefs, in which 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen were injured and didn't play. And the same could be said for other sports. In the NBA, when the Lakers won in the bubble 2 years ago, their stars, who are a little bit older, a little bit more injury prone, got extended time off to rest up, to heal their bodies. They were the healthiest team in the bubble. Last year, the Milwaukee Bucks, the big reason why they won was because of health. The Phoenix Suns were the only other team that had the same good health as the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks were just simply better. They were the healthiest team. So we see how much that can impact a team's ability to make a run and to contend for a Super Bowl. But I'll say this, because everyone wants to count out the Bucks right now. They're missing some key guys, no question about it. But this team is going to be fine, and they're still more than capable of reaching the Super Bowl. Because here's the thing that people forget, is who they still have. Yes, people want to focus on the absences, on the injuries. But you look at this roster, this is still a roster that most teams would salivate at the chance to coach. Offensively, you still have Mike Evans will come back, whether it's this week or next week. He didn't sustain a major injury. He will return. You still have now Antonio Brown you get to bring back out of the stable to fill in for Chris Godwin. He's an all-world talent. You still have Rob Gronkowski, who, though he didn't play well against the Saints, arguably the greatest tight end of all time. Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, still backups. You still have Tyler Johnson and Scotty Miller. I'm not saying they are elite level wideouts. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. And so you combine that with the fact that the defense is still intact. Shaq Barrett still there. Ndamukong Suh still there. Vita Vea still there. They still have all these pieces. Devin White still there. The cornerbacks are going to get healthier. So they still have the components to be a viable contender. And the fact that they're 10-4 right now, and they've got an easy schedule to close out. They play the Panthers twice, once on the road, once at home. They go to the Jets once. Probably will end up going 13-4 at the end of the season. Sure, it's not the path that I'm sure Brady and the Bucs would have liked to have chartered for themselves, but at the same time, this is still a team in a great position because they're in an easy division and they still have Tom Brady and they still have enough offensive pieces along with a defense intact to be able to stay viable, to be able to stay relevant. So I don't think there needs to be huge panic. There's no question that losing Chris Godwin hurts tremendously. He was their leading receiver, not only in receptions, but yards. The guy is dynamic. And again, wishing him a speedy recovery. Leonard Fournette has emerged as the top back for Brady. He's been tremendous all season. He'll likely be back for the postseason. And in the meantime, I still think they can survive without him. So, again, last year they avoided the health bug, the injury bug, rather. This year, they've been on the wrong end of it. That happens. But you still have Brady. You still have the other pieces. They're still good to go, in my opinion. Still very much a viable team to contend for the Super Bowl and to reach the Super Bowl.